Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here, and thank you for joining me in this new year of 2026. If you're someone who has been here from the start, I'm very grateful. I'm grateful to be continuing on this journey with you, and this journey being our personal development and our growth, our internal growth, I should say. So I know that we talk a lot about manifestation on this channel, but manifestation, we know, is really the byproduct of our personal growth. So it's about the person we are becoming and identifying as, and then our kind of outside world really reflects who we are within. So I wanted to start off the new year talking about our mental health, because after Christmas there is a little bit of a low when it comes to the high that we've been on through the busyness and the buzziness and the kind of cheer that we experience through Christmas. If we are somebody who is spending it with family and friends and having meals and drinks and all of that kind of thing that we do around Christmas time. Now, if we are somebody who did not experience this around our Christmas time, we could be having a low, and we can be still in a low in January, because when we start a new year, it's like a new beginning, and it's like we're looking at things from a way that we are either optimistic, or if we're coming from a kind of a helpless, kind of hopeless vibe after the kind of high and now the low, or the low into the low, we start to kind of feel more low in our mood, because we start to think that things are kind of hopeless, in a sense that we are experiencing, I suppose you could call them, the January blues. So our mental health is very important to be the first thing on our list when we're starting off the new year. When we start off the new year, everybody has goals, and they have all of these kind of New Year's resolutions, all of this kind of thing. But the first thing, before we even look at all of that, is to check in with ourselves. Where is your mental health? How are you feeling? What is your body telling you? What is your mind telling you? If you are somebody who can't even get yourself out of bed in the morning, even if you are somebody who is in that kind of mode, and you pick up your phone and you start to watch something that is maybe more motivating, that is something that is actually a positive to your mental health in that moment. So no matter where you are on your journey, and if things seem hopeless, or if you have that kind of feeling within you, know that it can change over time. And I say this even from experience. Like, I'm talking about this because I know myself what it feels like to go through these periods of time. And after, really putting yourself into changing your mindset, it does change. So when you decide for yourself that you want to actually change your mindset in order for things to change in your reality, that is the first step, where you look into your mental health. Now, your mental health is important, obviously, to think positively, and all of these techniques and everything that we think about when we want to change and we want to create a different reality, but it's also on a physical perspective as well too. So I'm not going to be somebody who's going to sit here and say, oh, you can manifest perfect mental health without actually having to check in with a doctor or anything like that, because really it's a balance of the both. We do want to be checking ourselves up with doctors as well too, because even though we can holistically change, we do want to be realistic, in the sense that doctors are there for a reason, and they're there because we need somebody to guide us as well. Maybe there is medication you need to take, maybe there's not medication you need to take, but sometimes it's hard to kind of discern that by yourself, and getting a professional opinion is the first thing to do when you are somebody who wants to get your mental health in check in January, before you start looking at your goals or your New Year's resolutions. Your goals and your New Year's resolutions are something that is going to be inevitable, but your mental health will be the start of that, because it will be the foundation of how you actually start to create this kind of life that you desire. Because you can create the life that you want, but you want to be checking in with your mind first, your brain, and how your brain is going to be working towards this on the road to the goals and on the road to your resolutions as well too. So first of all, in January is the mental health check. Now, after you get your kind of mental health check, you want to be looking at your diet as well too. So the diet is very important. And, sometimes I don't even be up to scratch with my diet as well, but I do know the difference when I eat better, when I, drink more water and all of that kind of thing. You will feel it in your gut. So obviously over Christmas, we have been maybe indulging. I know myself, I've indulged as well, because look, we're human and we're here to experience life. But when it comes into January, we do want to be looking at more healthier ways of living. Now, it doesn't mean you have to go cold turkey and give up everything altogether. If you fancy a little piece of chocolate at the end of the week or anything like that, have the piece of chocolate. You don't have to deprive yourself just because it's January. Sometimes when we go cold turkey and in January, we may go back on to things then in February. So it's better to kind of do it gradually, in a way that we are embodying this new person who is wanting to experience this new way of diet and eating as well too. So when I say diet, I don't mean that to lose weight or anything like that. I mean that you are actually changing the way that you eat and that you drink, or whatever it is that you consume on your daily basis, in a way that is healthy for you to maintain and sustain, because it is all about maintaining and sustaining a healthy, balanced lifestyle. So after all of that, and you get that kind of in check, then you kind of come in and you ask yourself about, okay, what kind of mindset do I have? What limiting beliefs? What is holding me back from actually achieving these kind of goals and resolutions? So really you want to be kind of writing down and analysing, having kind of a critical thinking and evaluation of yourself and your mindset, and going through what you believe is actually the belief that is holding you back. So a lot of the time, the beliefs that hold us back are usually about not being good enough, we're not worthy of what it is that we want, maybe those experiences that we had before. So we're kind of looking at them and we're saying, oh, well, if this is always the way that it's been, then what makes me think that it's going to change? And so we kind of have this feeling of procrastination, we have this feeling of hopelessness coming up, and we start to kind of believe then these kind of limiting beliefs. So that is when we stop ourselves and we know that, okay, these are areas that I need to work on. So what are things that I can do that will help me work on this? So the first thing with procrastination and things like that is to look at your routine. So develop a routine for your day. And this routine for your day can be really, really simple, as long as you actually stick to what it is. It's like a to-do list. So even if it's something like getting out of bed and making your bed, maybe you're somebody who never makes your bed, but now you're actually going to start to make your bed, because when you start to incorporate these new kind of habits, they build up over a period of time. You start to naturally become this person who is incorporating these daily habits, but because it's kind of registering within your nervous system and your brain and your body, you start to say, okay, well, this is what I'm doing now in the moment. I've started to make my bed every morning when I never did before. Maybe I could start doing other things that I didn't do before now, because that didn't seem so bad. We take it in small steps. So it's like a little bit of a small discipline that we took in a small step. And now we're kind of branching out a bit. We're evolving, we're getting bigger. So what else can we invite into our lives now as a healthy habit and a routine? Okay, so I get up, I make my bed. Maybe in the morning, instead of whatever diet I have, maybe I have a sugary cereal or things like that, maybe I'll just change it to fruit. Maybe I'll just try that for a little bit. And when we start to do these little kind of steps each day, as I say, they build up over time, but they're teaching your brain, because your brain starts to learn these new ways. Even if you are somebody, for instance, who gives up a certain treat, something that you like every week, maybe it's crisps or something like that, or chips in America, and you give them up, and then after a month of not taking them and you take one, you'll notice that the taste won't be the same satisfying taste, because your brain has gotten used to the way of not having them. It's like the same if you change maybe your coffee or your teas and you stick to one coffee for a few weeks. If you start to drink another coffee, the taste won't be the same. It's like your taste buds adjust, and I suppose the micro gut as well too. It's all about wanting what it gets most of the time. So it starts to adjust as well too. It'll start to adjust to the new tastes and the new way of eating and drinking as well. So everything that we do is teaching our brain. It's that's why it's like a program. That's why we say it's like a program, because inevitably over a period of a couple of weeks, the program starts to seep in. And then as it starts to seep in, that is when the brain starts to become this kind of way. It starts seeking out, and we start to embody this new way of identifying and being as well in a natural kind of way. So when we start off in January, these are the kind of things that we want to be starting off with. Now, we can have the idea of our goals and our resolutions, but in order for us to achieve them, we do want to have a good, stable foundation. And this is where, from my own perspective, that this is kind of where it should begin. So I just thought I'd do a quick video on that. And if you have any questions, of course, you can email me at any time. But of course, you can comment down below and let me know what you think about it if you like. And I will chat to you soon.